is a country beyond that which is known to humankind. A stray country. A country that exists west of October, whose borders are somewhere between midnight train whistles and the distant howl of a dog. A country that lies somewhere in the stitched and jittering static between radio stations. A country that drifts through America like a traveling salesman, but every now and then stops to nest on a small town, a small church, a single street, and maybe, just maybe, some kind of delayed radio broadcast you've stuffed in your ears. Chapter 32. Won't you join the dance? The door clicked. A boy fell inside. A second boy's hand throbbed from all the pounding. He was pulled inside. The door locked. A janitor stood looking at his own hands, stuck on his keys, twisted to lock, wondering why, when, why had he, when had he, why had he, when had he, why had he locked the door? The janitor's eyes watched the junior high school window like a movie. Waited to see a man strapped in a mask, a guy glinting the spit of the moon off an axe. A masochist with a gas-powered tool squealing the night like a stuck pig. A kitchen knife killer, some motel owner dressed in old lady drag, an asylum escapee in a mechanic's uniform, or just any freak basted in gasoline wearing a disfigured Halloween mask, something picked up from Sears for $1.98. 33 classroom clocks ticked. The janitor's eyes watched the long after midnight very, very carefully. His cigarette hung on his lip, unlit. His mop clutched in his left hand, dry as a bone. No bucket. A boy got off the floor, stood. A second boy coaxed the pain from his hands, wringing them like laundry. Two boys watched the man, watching this horror film of quiet neighborhood streets. Looked to the movie screen. Looked to the man. Back and forth. Mop man, movie screen. Mop man, movie screen. Watching how he would react to the scene. The only sound was the banging of dead leaves in the dark. A boy hitched his elbow. A boy rubbed his pain. Both wondered, how was it this window had turned to Halloween cinema, this window that had only ran a ticker tape of freedom films to classroom captive kids, sunny spring days and fresh snow to be plundered. The janitor breathed in. The boys could not tell if it had been a sniff, could not tell if this man could smell bad dreams bringing on the night, bad dreams binging on the night. The janitor breathed out. Breathed in. Was it a sniff? A nose prod to danger? The boys could not tell. The man did not say. Out there in the theater dark, the street lay long and empty under the freight train of street lights. A downpour, a factory-made light, humming itself insane. Little islands of electric sunshine, simmering and sleeting ladybug parts. But no static in the wind. No radio bleeding between stations. It was all quiet as a night should be in November. 9 seconds passed. Thanks. A janitor hand jerked in the air, palm out, fingers outstretched, some ancient sign language. A boy's unfinished word echoed down the hall. A dry mop fell to the floor. All three watched the silent movie that was the window. 9 seconds passed. The boys blinked. The janitor did not blink. He was combing the dark. All the dark stockpiled from long-lost summer days. Returned, come back, here, now, in this month of casket velvet leaves and closed coffin brand of dark. The janitor watched the dark like old carnival portraits, expecting them to change, expecting them to stay the same, expecting them to tell a story worth all the folksy grit in the country. He watched the dark like old frontier farmers watched the burnt highways for circuit-riding preachers. He watched the night like anyone would watch a man plucked from the rear pew. Like a farmer watches the dirt of the good earth. Like a director watches someone kill 15 minutes of cinema. A bartender watches someone shake their chin for a bit. Looking the night over like a pair of jeans that had just the wrong amount of wear to them. Like a gasoline attendant pumping gas while smoking a cigarette, but most of all, the janitor watched the night with the kind of narrow gaze any man would have watching a pastor strike a match to burn down his own church. A boy opened his mouth. Didn't say a thing. Thought about saying something. Or something, but didn't say a thing. The janitorial hand moved in inches measured by horseflies, said shh, the native tongue of boys. The window played the same scene. Very polite houses on very polite streets, sleeping very politely. Almost static. Billy blinked. Yes, the scene did have movement. More than an oil painting, but less than a TV. Billy couldn't tell if the silent film was something from the suburban Carousel cinema or the French movie house. Something that didn't change. The film sat still. A pile-up of nouns. The old man, the cigarette, the mop, the boys, the halls, the window, the cinema, the night, the street lights, the shower of bugs, the sidewalks, the leaves, the season, the stage, the grass, the house, the night clouds, the silence, the wind, the silence, the hum of fluorescence, the doors, the glass, the keys, the film, the dark, the streets, the streets, the streets. Billy blinked. Why did night look so much like a black and white horror film? Billy blinked. He couldn't even see the last of the dandelions. Jack blinked. Why did the frame of window remind him of a slaughterhouse peep show? Jack blinked. Why did he want to go wash his eyes in rainwater? The janitor did not blink. He dragged his cigarette. There was no smoke. It was not lit. His hand was still on his keys. The keys were still in the lock. Why had he? When had he? Why had he? When had he? Why had he locked the door? Jack scratched his ear. He couldn't hear the last pinch of summer left in the leaves. Billy scratched his nose. He couldn't smell apples rotting in the grass. The janitor did not scratch. Hand on keys, keys in lock, waiting to make key noise. The janitor did not let them speak. He held very still, watching streetlights bent above the streets like the hands of drowning men, trying very hard to read the sign language. "Will you?" said one. "Won't you?" said another. "Will you?" said this light. "Won't you?" said that lamp. "Will you? Won't you? Will you? Won't you?" fumbled the janitor's lips. "What does it mean?" "Will you? Won't you? Will you? Won't you?" signed the street lights. "Will you? Won't you? Will you? Won't you?" The janitor's lips tight. He telegraphed his brain. His brain wrote back. "Won't you join the dance?"